if I go back to the very beginning of my real estate career and do things differently, this is what I would have done. That's what I'm talking about in this video today. So, cutting right to the point here, number one, what I would have done is I would have started a YouTube channel right off the bat. So, my whole first year, I basically just leveraged TikTok, Instagram stories. That was it. That's all I did, and I managed to do about 60 deals in that first year. Granted, most of that was the market. I was pretty lucky that the market was, very hot when I first got into real estate. Now it's the complete opposite. But I didn't start my YouTube channel until I was just over a year in the industry. So, right now I've been doing YouTube for about 2.5 years. I would be at 3.5 years now had I started that earlier. I just feel like YouTube is the best way to grow a sustainable and consistent business. It also teaches you a lot of skills that you need to understand across any form of marketing, right? Understanding how to craft an intro, understanding how to craft an eye-catching title, which is basically copy, right? Understanding how to craft a thumbnail. And to be able to do that, you also have to understand the psychology of humans, what people are actually going to want to click on, right? So, I now understand a lot of that stuff, not to the extent that I want to be able to understand it because I waited so long and now I'm a full year behind where I should be. And, when it comes to growing a sustainable business, YouTube gives you the power to be able to work with the exact people that you want to work with based on how you're crafting the content that you put out. It also gives you the ability to be able to, add lead captures to your content and things like that to grow a newsletter, which again just provides more sustainability and consistency to your business, right? I do a lot on short form content, which is amazing. But at the end of the day, if I want to continue to get leads and continue my business to continue to flourish, every day I have to put out a new fire piece of content, right? And I mean, you could say the same for YouTube, but it's not necessarily the same because the content doesn't necessarily need to be as fire as short form content, just so long as the topic has search volume, the title's crafted well, and the YouTube is done properly. It's gonna get views and it's gonna sell whatever product or service you're trying to sell, right? So YouTube is the number one mistake that I feel I made. I should have started it a lot earlier than I did. But that leads me to my next point, is I should have started a newsletter right off the bat. Today I have a newsletter. The difference between a newsletter and content is you can't really promote in content because it's not going to get views. You're going to lose the viewer. You're going to lose viewer retention, which is the basis of all these algorithms across every platform, is that if the viewer retention isn't high, the algorithms don't push your content, right? So the thing with the newsletter is no matter how you decide to craft that email, as long as the subject line is decent, as long as the subject line is decent, it's going to get sent to everybody in your newsletter, right? Meaning, you don't have to talk about things you don't want to talk about to get views from your viewership, and you can just straight up promote in the newsletter. You can straight up be like, buy this, you know what I mean? And as long as the subject line is good copy, people are going to open it and read it, right? It's also a safety net in case, like, I got banned on Instagram earlier this year, shitting my pants, right? Don't know why I got banned. I just got banned. It took me a day to get it back, right? But, just in case you get banned or you get shadow banned or you lose your account or any of these things or you get hacked, right? The newsletter is the audience you own. You don't own the audience on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or any of these platforms because it can all be taken away from you from one ban or anything like that, right? Well, the newsletter, nobody can take that away from you. You can save it on a CSV and you have it forever and you can always retarget those people. You can straight up promote in the newsletter, which you can't really do in your short form content. You can do it more in YouTube, which again is why I prefer YouTube over short form, even though I'm a short form guy and all my business pretty much comes through short form. YouTube is definitely, YouTube is definitely the way to go. And then on top of that, a newsletter would also be long form content because people are going to sit there and spend 10 minutes reading through your text-based content. That's long form. It's also content marketing. And YouTube is content marketing. And then, the third thing I would have done in the very beginning is just focus on systems more. And, that plays hand in hand with YouTube and the newsletter. I would have had more systems in place to be able to drive more attention and more viewership into the newsletter to be able to retarget more people, setting up proper lead captures, setting up webinars, setting up landing pages so people actually want to opt into those newsletters, creating free products so that people opt into the newsletter, doing all these kinds of things that, again, build your viewership on a long form basis, because they say that people have to listen to you for at least 7 hours before they start to trust you. And if you're putting out 20, 30-second videos, you can imagine how many of those somebody has to consume before they trust you. Well, on YouTube, that might only be 5 podcasts. That might only be 15 videos for somebody to fully be able to trust you. That might only be, 20 newsletters before somebody starts to trust you, right? So long form is the way to go. I'm a short form guy. My main platform is TikTok. That's still most of my business comes through TikTok. But I feel like the number one mistake that I made was not starting YouTube right away. And then, the systems, the lead captures, the newsletter, they all go hand in hand. And, even just adding lead captures to my short form, links in the bio and stuff like that, I didn't do any of that until probably 2.5, almost 3 years into the business. So if you're getting into real estate, you're a brand new realtor, I would recommend starting on YouTube from day one. Yes, it's going to take you 3 years to see really massive results from that YouTube channel. Some people might take 6 months, but the bulk of people, it's going to take 3 to 5 years. But in 3 to 5 years, you're going to have this amazing asset where you can market to thousands of people at any time you want, over and over and over again, promoting pretty much anything you want as long as the title's crafted properly and the thumbnail is good. And that's an asset that's going to make you money for the rest of your life. And in Canada, it's also the only platform that will actually pay you to market your own business. Like today, my AdSense is like $300 a month. YouTube pays me $300 a month to market my own business. I sold 2 homes this month off my YouTube. So YouTube, basically made me like, $20,300 this month. And again, you can take that AdSense, you can roll it back into ads, you can invest in, a copywriter, whatever, right? There's so many things you can do with that extra $300 a month, which is not even the reason why you're doing it. You're doing it to get business, but that's just an added bonus, an added $3,600 a year that I don't have to do anything for, right? So if you're a brand new agent, I'd highly recommend that you get started on YouTube, you start a newsletter as soon as possible, and you work on the systems to be able to capture people and drive them into the newsletter. If you found this valuable, please do subscribe. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.